They win. You didn't change the table. You didn't change the table. Right? You see that now? So, um, there is a prize for the winning table. Who is going to receive the prize on behalf of the table? Mataji, okay. No, 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 no. So we will maintain this configuration until this configuration will be changed. Now, these three phases. Sometime, what are you doing? What? Oh, you want to, yeah, take your things if you need to. So, the same organization might have different areas of the world, or even in the same country, at different levels of development. So the same organization will have some place in the pioneer stage, some place in the administrative stage, and some place in the integration phase. Now, these three phases, they're not cut and dry. There are phases in between. There are transition phase. And this transition phase sometimes takes generations. Let's also remember that not all organizations go through these phases. Some organizations, or rather most organizations, they just die, they disappear before reaching the integration stage. So we'll see a few characteristics of the pioneer phase. At the end of this section, we'll have an assessment of what we learned. So please pay attention. You won't be allowed to see your notes, therefore I really need your full attention. So pioneer phase. Pioneer phase, the organization, the movement. And we are talking in general. We are talking about any movement, any organization, any institution. But particularly, of course, we talk about ISKCON. You lost the table, Mataji? What happened? There was not enough space. So like a baby. For a baby, the world is new, is fresh. It's all to be discovered. Hmm? So the movement sees the world with the eyes of a baby. It's like in the far west, when the pioneers were colonizing, discovering America, North America, they would go the frontier, they would discover new places, places where there were no roads and there were no maps. So the pioneer creates those roads, creates those avenues. He walks where nobody else has walked before. Example of the pioneer phase, Srila Prabhupada in Tompkins Square Park, breaking new ground. A little, very little band of followers. Kirtanananda and others. No assets, little storefront, rented. So some of the characteristic is there is improvisation. There are no job descriptions. There are no handbooks, manual, how to do things. So decisions are made on the spur of the moment. It's intuitive decision making. You make choices as you feel. That's the best way to do it. This is a family atmosphere. Everyone knows everyone else. It's very informal and very warm also. And there is a clear direction. At the beginning, there is a very, very strong commitment, strong missionary spirit. Everybody is united on a very, very clear mission. And there is a very high level of commitment. See, devotees were new. I heard from devotees from that age, they did not get dhotis and saris from India, so they will buy this long rolls of clothes, yellow, orange, pink, and ladies will get 6 meters, men will get 4 meters. That's why they were dressed all the same, because they was really cut from the same cloth. There's a Boston Common. They were singing for hours in the street. Do you spot any GBC there? Yes, Romapad Maharaj. You see? Youthful, jumping. Huh? Who? Who is this? Lakshmi Moni. So many. Brahmananda, Sharadhiya, Bhagavan, like that. You all know Lakshmi Moni Mataji, you know. So this is Lakshmi Moni with a little less hair, the same enthusiasm. So with growth, challenges appear. Not everyone knows everyone anymore. So the family atmosphere, the intimacy is becoming eroded. There's a loss of confidence in leadership because leadership was very young, very inexperienced. So sometimes the leadership made some very big mistakes. They demonstrated their incapacity, or sometimes they may take on some autocratic flavor. So at one point, people don't believe in the leaders anymore. Autocratic decision making is rejected. There's a sense, no, let us decide together, not that just you decide everything for everybody. And then there are generational issues. People get married, people get have children, Sometimes children don't have the same commitment of the parents. Not only that, but there's also generational issues with the new converts. Like for instance, in the 70s, mostly we were attracting, 60s and 70s, we were attracting what kind of people? Hippies, okay? Nowadays, North America, what type of people we attract? Indian? What kind of Indians? Huh? Yeah, Hindu Indians, yes. Among the Hindu Indians, what kind of people? Expats or descend of expats? Money. Money means rich people? Gujarat. Okay, yes. And I was looking more for the IT professional type, right? That's where we attract, right? In North America, like that. So there are generational issues, different perspectives, and again, children. So there is need for clear goals, expectations. There is need for clear job descriptions. What's the function? What's the role? Need for clear policies cannot be left to the individual inspiration. And need for new structures. Because the movement has overgrown the structures that existed. Structures in many ways. Structure in terms of building. Obviously, the storefront approach doesn't work anymore. And also structures in the sense of organizational structures. So then, this introduces the rational phase. Rational or administrative phase. Because again, movement has roots, is spreading its roots. And again, the movement now, the structure of the movement is too small for the movement. Srila Prabhupada wrote to his god brother, Sridhar Maharaj. This is 74. So about 8 years, July 74, 8 years after founding ISKCON. We are expanded worldwide organization, and it requires very acute management to keep up the status quo. To management in few storefronts is not a very, very high class or very sophisticated management. But when the movement spreads, becomes international, there are many, many more things that needs to be taken care of. And so, this is a picture of the American Constitution. The idea is that you need a constitution. It needs, again, clarifying expectations. What are the rights and duties, responsibility, functions? The danger of this phase is that there will be oppressive routines, a lot of procedures, time-consuming procedures, checks and balances, this step, and red tape. Red tape. Like, for instance, taking sannyas. Some of you have the experience. Now, in the 70s, taking sannyas was basically asking Srila Prabhupada, and if he wants, he gives sannyas. That's it, right? But nowadays, and we have 4 sannyasis from this century, right? You're all from this century. You all took sannyas in this century. Yeah. So we have 21st century sannyasis. They have to go through a lot of, there are forms to be filled, right? So many forms, so many, okay, you got to go this, you got that, you got to get a recommendation of the National Council, Continental Council, this, that, they send in some missions, do you have to go there, you have to go there, then you have a wait list, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. So, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just a very different way. A very different way. So people were familiar with the previous system, they feel they feel a bit oppressed. They feel like this. They feel like this, red tape. So there is a tension between the pioneer and the rational phase. There's a tension because people were accustomed to do things in a certain way, and now it's done in a different way. We grew up with a culture. Remember, we have been discussing culture, or will be discussing culture much more. Culture in terms of norms, values, beliefs. The movement starts having different beliefs of how to do the things. So there is a tension. The fears in this phase are, we're taking up a corporate culture. How many of you heard this fear? We don't want to be too corporate. Only 2 people heard this? Okay, more people. Yeah. Okay. Bureaucracy and centralization. There's a fear. Now we'll quickly address these 3 fears. These are legitimate fears, but sometimes they become a bit exaggerated. First of all, corporate culture. Well, believe it or not, but we are a corporation. You join a corporation. You maybe didn't think you were joining, but we are. We are an incorporated movement. July 66, Certificate of Incorporation of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, pursuant to the Religious Corporation Law of the State of New York. First, the name of the corporation shall be International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Inc. Inc. means incorporated. Second, the purpose for which the corporation is organized are, etc., etc., etc. So, there is nothing wrong in being a corporation. Corporation means we are a legal entity recognized in the court of law. In other words, the court of law of a certain state or nation recognizes that ISKCON exists. It's not just a band of individuals, like formless, amorphous. It's an organization that transcends the individuals. And they have the same right of the individuals. Can sue people, can be sued by people, can have properties, and so on. Is that clear? Everybody is clear? We are a corporation? Now, so there are good corporations like ISKCON, and there are bad corporations because they have bad purposes, killing cows, selling the cows, like that. Okay? So, the problem is not, the issue is not, are we a corporation or not? The issue is that we had to have a corporate culture, which is Vaishnava, which is Krishna conscious. Now, bureaucracy. Srila Prabhupada writes to Balimardan, one of the leaders, actually was a GBC, I am always careful about the mail and the money. This is very serious business. We have a very efficient office. We must have a very efficient office at each temple. Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy comes from the French word bureau. Bureau is a French word. Believe it or not, it's a French word. Simply, bureau means office. That's all. So, bureaucracy, there is too much bureaucracy and there is too little bureaucracy. For instance, Rupanuga Prabhu was talking this morning. You got telephone answering machines, and then nobody checks. That's too little bureaucracy, too little office work. Srila Prabhupada says he wanted a bureau, he wanted an efficient office, because the mail, the money is important. Accounts have to be kept. The mail has to be answered. So some bureaucracy must be there. Just like you travel, you have your passport, your identity papers, right? You can't just say, I'm a sannyasi of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So a little bureaucracy, even if you're a sannyasi, you need to have a little, You have to have your passport. The passport has to be valid. You have to have your visa, and so on. Okay? So when you expand to the movement, some bureaucracy is necessary. Too much is too much, but too little is too little. Do we agree on that? Thank you. Now, for instance, another letter on this letter to Satsaru, 1st July, 72. If we do not take time to understand how the financial matters are going on, then at any moment we may experience some calamity due to our inattention to these matters. Calamity. The other day we saw the dialogue about this, what was his name, that Manasvi. Srila Prabhupada said he stole $25,000. Obviously, there was no a good system of checks and balance accounts, because if you could steal $25,000 from the temples at that time, means that the system was just non-existent. So some bureaucracy is necessary. Conversation in Bombay, prevention is better than cure, obviously. Now, centralization. For reasons of spreading Krishna conscious movement, we may sometimes centralize. How many of you is familiar with this quote? Okay, so the minority, almost less than a quarter of you, less than 25% has ever heard this. How many of you are familiar, you heard the quote, never centralize anything? How many of you heard that? Never centralize anything. See, many more. So we somehow we resonate, or that has got, the quote has got is more popular, or is more spread, or more quoted. Never centralize anything. So devotees almost assume that as a Mahavakya, no? Or Vedavakya, or some sort of fundamental law of the universe. Never centralize anything. Like a sutra, never centralize anything. Om Tat Sat. But Srila Prabhupada says sometimes we may sometimes centralize. And he gave the example of BBT. You're all fresh from BBT meditation. So BBT sometimes has to be centralized. Why Srila Prabhupada said BBT has to be centralized? Because if translation, production of the books are left to every temple, the books will not be produced. One thing, what can you tell me, another aspect of ISKCON that Srila Prabhupada, in his presence, centralized? Yes? Accounts in India, okay. It's an example, although that's still national. But good example, centralized. He said India doesn't work like every center is independent, centralized, Mumbai. Yes? GBC body, yes, governing body commission for the whole world, yes.
The Ministry of Education, for example.
The Ministry of Education, not only the Ministry of Education, the Gurukul itself.
Yeah.
It started in Dallas, right? Dallas, the children will come to Dallas. Then they move to Vrindavan, and then they will go from all over the world to Vrindavan. Why? The same principle. If every temple, especially at that time, if every temple has to start a Gurukul, it will not happen. They will not have the teachers and the building and everything. So Dallas, Vrindavan, okay. So we may sometimes centralize. So then, if everything goes smooth, if a movement, an institution survives and thrives and grows, matures, then there is the integration phase. Integration phase means that you rediscover the sincerity, the spirit of the first day, the enthusiasm, but at the same time now you're organized. So you're not just organized but stuck and stagnant. You're organized but you're alive. You're vibrant. So things work together. We learn to work together. We learn to keep the standards. So we renew the core values and culture, like cleanliness, dedication, sacrifice, submission, surrender, preaching spirit, missionary spirit. We are proactive instead of reactive. If you think of it, these all 2 days you had on strategic planning, it's all about being proactive instead of reactive. Look around you, see the opportunities. Don't wait for the opportunity to fall on your lap or to disappear in the course of time. Look around and choose. Be proactive. Okay, we are not doing this, but now we are doing something new. It's a different mindset. Becoming relevant and relatable. In other words, we are not just forming islands of social misfits. We start playing an important role in society. People start taking seriously. People want to know what the Hare Krishna thinks about the issues of the day. This is when we will become mature. It's a kind of almost like a sign, a symptom. Are people calling your temple and asking, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about the American election? What do you think about Ebola? What do you think about this problem? What do you think about euthanasia? When people start asking you, what do you think about things, means you became relevant. And relatable. Again, with the core values and culture intact, but we become relatable. We start becoming expert at making people feel comfortable being around devotees, comfortable with Krishna consciousness. It's not just an alien thing. Building a common vision. This is not centralization. This is integration. Integration means there is a system, there is an approach which is holistic. And part of this is you coming all together and building a common vision. Now, for instance, each of you will go back and do a different strategic planning. Bangladesh will be different than Nigeria, and Estonia will be different than New Zealand. But hopefully you are on the same page, because you're all thinking strategically. And when you come together next time, a reunion, you speak the same language. In other words, the movement reaches this unity in diversity. Now, this unity in diversity is something precious and something difficult. In fact, there's a famous letter Srila Prabhupada wrote in 1973. He said that every year, all GBCs and all senior devotees, every year they should come to Mayapur and discuss unity in diversity. In other words, to find this balance of unity and diversity is a constant effort. It's not something that, okay, we come together, we discuss, okay, unity and diversity, fine, 51% unity, 49% diversity, okay, finish. Doesn't work like that. It's an ongoing effort to find the right balance. How much unity should be there? How much diversity should be there? How much control should be there? How much autonomy should be there? How many standards should be there? How much independence should be there? Any questions on what we discussed? Yes.
I have a question about the centralization.
Ah,
It is a major rebuttal. It's a major rebuttal amongst devotees towards attempts at management, strategic management and things, like from my experience. So
You
From
speak
what-
in the mic. Speak directly. Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay so far?
Can everybody hear? Okay.
So when you were describing centralization and you're giving the Gurukul as an example, I was thinking there seems like there might be two kinds of centralization. One is the centralization where you're pooling your resources to become effective, and the other centralization is like that form of centralization that seems to have been directly rejected by Srila Prabhupada, where there's some kind of umbrella that controls. Can you elaborate on that? I guess what I'm searching for is what is the aspect of centralization that Prabhupada was averse to, and what is it that's okay?
See, what Srila Prabhupada, we could study those letters. See, what Srila Prabhupada did not want that, he expressed it, now I'm paraphrasing in my own words, but Srila Prabhupada said, I don't want one center to dominate and everybody else kind of begs to a center. There is a very specific centralization, a very, we could say, hard version of centralization. In particular, some of the leaders, Jayatirtha Prabhu, okay, he had an idea that for North America, everybody collects money and all the money of all North America goes in one place. And then it gets redistributed to all the temples. Someone decides, no, you get this much, you get this much, you get this much, you get this much. So that's like a very hard version of centralization. And Srila Prabhupada was against. And one thing he was against, why he was against is because he said, no, our devotees should be expert in everything. They should be autonomous. They should be autonomous and should be responsible. In other words, not, oh, our temple, it's in a poor place in Alabama, and, we can't collect, we can't establish the temple. We'll ask New York to send some money. Srila Prabhupada didn't like that. He wrote, better you struggle a little bit, become autonomous, get a relation with your municipality, with your local government, with the media, locally, and you establish yourself. Don't just become a satellite of somebody else. So he wanted personal growth. He wanted the temple to stand on their feet. Okay?
Puji, the centralization and can we say that like centralization and decentralization in every seva or any project has both of the
Elements.
elements, because sometimes if somebody has decentralized the powers, but he still gives some power to somebody to, okay, this department, particular department is your department and do the services, and because he is the head of this particular department, so he has these powers. So he, like you have given example, to collect the money and deposit one sided. But when he was collecting money, maybe under him, there were many people, those who were collecting money and depositing to him, and then he gave.
What's the question?
Question is just, I'm just saying that decentralization and centralization, if we do decentralize some powers or some services, but still it is somewhere around somebody is still having all the powers under the decentralization system, that he is having, like we have through GBC, everyone has power to run a temple with certain rules and regulations, but the temple that person has
Are
decentralized.
you saying that centralization and decentralization should coexist? Is that your question?
in some level?
Okay, yes. Unity in diversity. Absolute decentralization means there is no more an International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I mean, what does it mean, International Society for Krishna Consciousness? It means one society, culturally, in terms of standards, in terms of philosophy, to some extent, in terms of, again, aspects recognized in the court of law, legal aspects, there must be a connection. Otherwise, we are not anymore the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. If every single temple in the world does whatever they want, or as standards, whatever standards they want. Follow the principle, don't follow the principle, chant 16 rounds, chant 4 rounds, give sannyas to those who don't follow this, make gurus, make disciples, don't give the disciple, ISKCON disciple course. If there are no common standards, the society is finished. At the same time, of course, Srila Prabhupada wanted a lot of autonomy. At the same time, that autonomy needs a little supervision. There are so many letters, you'll find so many in your book, Being a Srila Prabhupada Nuga. So many letters. Srila Prabhupada said the GBC and sannyasis in their touring program, they'll see that the standards are maintained. Otherwise, it ceases, it stops being the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Again, unity in diversity. And it's a balance, it's a very delicate balance between freedom, autonomy, independence, creativity, and on the other hand, standards, supervision, assessment, auditing, and so on. And it's an ongoing work. We have not found the right balance yet. And it will be always more or less an ongoing work. Yes, Aniruddha Prabhu.
Would it be fair to say that we're at the beginning of the rationalization process, and so we've got this desire to rationalize, but at the same time we're also trying to overcome the inertia of the people who were the original pioneers, but are now almost kind of like the obstacle to getting ourselves organized. And how long might we expect that to last for before we get to the point where we're that integrated stage? And how would we know that?
See, as I said, it depends. In different places, there are different phases. It depends. I would say a quick answer is that depends a lot on the people you recruit. Because some people are more ready to be organized. You see, you have a boy who has been organized all his life, okay? Organized, disciplined, we understand. Now, he was organized. Then when he will join the movement, he continue being organized, right? Because that's his nature, that's his habit. Now, so you have somebody who has never been organized, like a hippie, okay? He made of disorganization a way of life, a credo, okay? Then when they join the movement, they bring that baggage. And therefore the movement will look disorganized. See, a movement reflects the nature and character and habit of the people who populate the movement. There's no a clean movement. There's a movement populated by clean people, right? There is a movement where cleanliness is a value, is a shared belief, is a shared value. And people are willing to work and clean the place. So, I would say that, again, we cannot have a date. Depends a lot on the type of people you recruit and what kind of education you give to those people you recruit. Because obviously, if you put in very organized people and you give a training which is very disorganized, they all can also become disorganized. Yes, Prabhu. How many of you wants to ask questions? Gopal Guru Prabhu, Devakinandan Prabhu. Okay, we'll take these two questions and we'll continue.
I think what Aniruddha Prabhu might have been mentioning was that, like for example, within an organisation you have your pioneers, and I might be the pioneer. I get us up to this level. I might be really good at getting things started, but as to getting the bureaucracy and all the systems in place for us to grow further, I might be completely not very good at doing that. So then you kind of have these devotees that might be pioneer, get it up to this level, but now you've got them as managers, not able to take them further, through these next phases. So then what do you do in such situations?
See, intelligent people can understand the need of the movement, okay? Like Radhanath Maharaj, last year, previous batch, he was in front of your colleagues, and he said something like, I don't understand accounts, and I don't like accounts. Bal Govinda Prabhu, he said something like that. I don't understand accounts, and I don't do accounts. Radhanath Maharaj doesn't do accounts. But in his zone, it's a very organized zone full of accountants. And you can see what they built is very organized. And the whole zone runs pretty tightly, because he attracts people who are professional, so they do things in a professional way. All these brahmacharis that you see around, you may not know, but most of them, they're engineers. What's Jaru Thakur? Jaru Thakur was an engineer. Bal Govinda, was an engineer. Ananta Raghava, what do you? Accountant. Okay. Mohan Vilas, what's Mohan Vilas? An engineer. You know Mohan Vilas is the one who arranged your taxis. Did you get your taxi? Did you get your taxi? So he's Mohan Vilas. He's an engineer. You follow? He's not a hippie, Krishna range, No, he knows that. So you are what? Engineer. And you are what, Bal Govinda Prabhu? Mechanical engineer. Right. Even too much. I mean, I'm joking. Yes, but I'm just saying, they are being trained to do things in a systematic way. An engineer has to do things in a systematic way, right? Mechanical, electronic, or civil engineer has to do things in an organized way. Yes, he is trained to think in an organized way. So I would say, yes, intelligent leaders, they may not have those skills, but they know we need those skills. Like online, for instance. You may not, you are not, I think none of you, maybe you probably, but none of you, almost none of you are digital natives. You know the expression digital natives? Are you a digital native? Yeah. So you are the only digital native. Look, there's a digital native in the room. Digital native means somebody who grew up when he was 3 years old, he was already using a computer and a mobile phone. Am I correct? Well, the computer, yes. You see, 3 years old. Some of us, how old were you when you first time you touched a computer? Umapati Prabhu. The first time you touched a computer, how old were you? Still I don't use computer. Okay. Charuchandra Prabhu. Lagbina. No computer. So digital native means it's just part, they grow up, they have digital things. They just use, they buy things online, they surf the web. It's a different mentality. In other words, they want some information, they Google it. It's like automatic. It's automatic. Okay? So you may not be digital natives, or you may not even like them very much, but you should hopefully understand the importance. The whole world is online. You may not want to be online, but you want to be, that ISKCON is online. You follow what I'm saying? So an intelligent leader doesn't have to learn everything. Like Srila Prabhupada, he wanted the BBT to be state of the art. I don't think Srila Prabhupada ever learned to use a computer, right? I don't have any evidence. But he wanted the BBT to have computers and everything. You've seen that movie when Srila Prabhupada comes to the BBT and he sees the computer. So he doesn't need to learn a computer, but he wants the BBT to be computerized. Am I answering your question? Thank you. Devakinandan Prabhu. And similarly, just to give one more example, legally, okay? How many of you are lawyers? One. Don't be shy. There's nothing wrong in being loyal. How many of you like law? Yeah, okay. I'm still a minority. Okay. But you, I think, even if you don't like, you understand that the property you manage on behalf of Srila Prabhupada has to be rock solid. Right? The accounts needs to be rock solid. Your incorporation, your country must be rock solid. Right? So if you don't do it individually, ask Devakinandan Prabhu to do it. By the way, some of you don't know, but Devakinandan Prabhu is the Global Duty Officer in charge of the GBC legal department. And he will talk to you later about this. Devakinandan Prabhu, you have a comment?
Just a quick question. All these elements that you find in the integration phase, Prabhu, they are actually absent mostly in the rationalization phase, or do some of these elements start to come in?
No,
at that
these
time?
are obviously, these are oversimplification, these are generalization. It doesn't mean that the rational phase, the core values are lost. But there could be a tendency, it's a question of emphasis. It's a question of emphasis. Because the urgent need of the moment, of the hour, is to be more organized, to be more systematic. So that might tend to divert a little bit the attention, a little bit the energy. It's like, if you're working on your passport and you have to go and get the photos and get this and get that, obviously that moment you can't just preach. So, because you're getting your papers together. But doesn't have to be that there's no common vision. But some certainly, like if the movement is not integrated, there may not be a common vision because there may not be any communication. So without communication, there can be a common vision. Right? So because visions are developed in isolation. Okay? So integration. So the organization achieves maturity and collective wisdom. Sometimes they say, this is a saying, that youth is a very heavy disease. And only time can cure it. Sometimes individuals, like organizations, sometimes they're just immature. They don't know about life, they don't know about choices. So sometimes you just get to grow. So, again, pioneer phase pushes in one way, you can call it one culture, and rational pull it the other way. And therefore there is a tension. Okay. Morning Walk Los Angeles, December 73. Now we are world organization. There is spiritual side and there is material side also. That is not material side. That is also spiritual side, means systematic management. Otherwise, how it will be done? Remember, first day we discussed, as the institution grows, governance also has to grow. If there is too much imbalance, everything collapses. So for a worldwide organization, it needs systematic management. And part of this effort of the GBC College for Leadership Development is to institute that mentality, that value. Okay. Okay, a little assessment. More than assessment, it's a reinforcement for you. Can you help me distribute this, please? What is this? Yeah, not this. This. What's your background? Engineer. We got engineers everywhere. You look underneath it. Engineer. Okay, here. So please fill it up. Again, this is a more like a reinforcement for what, oops, for what we discussed. Sorry. It was for the others. So you can write, this is your personal copy, so you can write in any language. Oriya, Bengali, Hindi. Okay? It's your personal meditation. So you can write in Bengali, Prabhu, no problem. Is it clear? We discussed three phases. Three phases. You remember? Three broad phases. You remember? We discussed three stages, three phases. You remember? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Pioneer, rational, non-national. Sorry. Rational. Pioneer, rational, integration. And here we can put some characteristics. You can write in Bengali. No problem. That's why we are doing this. Okay, family atmosphere, this is what? Pioneer, okay, family atmosphere. What's another characteristic? You can use it again. What do you say? Huh? Relational? Yeah. You can say more organized, more systematic. You can use your own word. Just let me announce it. Hare Krishna, one thing, you can use your own word, okay? You don't have to remember the words that were on the screen. You can use your own word. You know, you can say for rational phase, you can say more organized, or systems, procedures. You know, Main thing is the concept, is the flavor of the face. You can say more checks and balances. So don't try only to remember the words we used. Potentially. These are dangerous, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Well, see, actually, sorry, pioneer rational integration. What are the characteristics of this pioneer phase? Yeah, what are the characteristics? Like improvisation, family atmosphere, like that. Which one? In that verse. Another one meaning? Okay. You can use your own words. Okay. Well, this could be something like there is core values are renewed. Core values are renewed. So there is like a fresh spirit, but it's organized. Like that. There is autonomy and control at the same time. This type of characteristics. Use your own expression. Now, those who have finished, you can take a few minutes to share with someone else. If you basically finish, turn around to somebody who also has finished and share your notes. What did you get out of this exercise, of this lesson? Did you remember the same characteristics? What words have you used? Feel free to move your chair a little bit if need be. Okay, can you put it near that chair? You see the chair? You see the empty chair? Take the chair away and put that there. Okay? Yes. I mean, not necessarily. It's not a rule, but generally the tendency is that there is one chief and anybody follows. Yeah, something like generally. Generally, it's more like a teamwork, councils, like that. Generally, or at least, even if it's one man, there are rules and regulations. He cannot just decide anything like that. Yes, Marsh. Improvisation, intuitive thinking, yeah, thinking or decision making, thinking, yes, intuitive, yes. Good. Fine, 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 checks and balance, yeah, yeah. And not really, I mean, generally these are more the dangers of this one. Okay. So integration means, say, unity in diversity, the core values are renewed, but it's organized, like that. Like to share what Prabhu wrote? Acha, acha, okay. Where is the? They have to be ready in 10 minutes, not within 10 minutes. I mean, they have to be ready. Can you find out? Who needs more time? Who needs more time? Who wants more time? We done? Okay. Anybody likes to share anything with the whole group? Something that, some insight, some realization, some observation? Anybody likes to share anything with the whole group? Yes? Can
There is one thing which
Okay, let's listen, all please. Let's listen to what Gopal Guru,
because we're going through the pioneering.
after all, is a guru, so
Hare Krishna. Yeah, we're going through the pioneering phase at the moment.
huh?
We're going through the pioneering phase, and we now need to start planning, getting into the formative phase. The interesting thing is that part of our success is this whole pioneering spirit that we have within our centre. So it's almost like we kind of want to keep it like that, but set something up in tandem.
Yeah.
So you kind of have this little thing pioneering, you still have to manage it, and then you set something up which you can then have a bit more stability, for the householders and things. So it's kind of like slightly schizophrenic, but
No,
yeah.
you see, I give you an example. Say, for instance, pioneer phase. We need to distribute books. Sometimes it becomes almost a frenetic pace. We need to distribute books, so we do anything. We tell anything. This is for the drug, to save people from drug. This is for children starving here or starving there. This is a record about this, about that, which is not. I mean, we have many, many experiences, okay? Now, the enthusiasm has to stay, but the way needs to be refined, it needs to be matured. So the enthusiasm to distribute books should remain, should increase, but should be done in a responsible way. It's like, I give an example, in different civilizations, there is what you call hunters and gatherers. Are you familiar with the hunters and gatherers? It's a civilization or it's a human society. What they do is just they hunt and they gather. Gather means they find nuts, fruits, some grass. They gather stuff and they hunt. Okay, they hunt the buffalo, they hunt the deer. Okay, so the relation with the environment is really almost of exploitation. then the next phase of human civilization is agriculture. Now it's not just running after animals or berries in the forest. Now you have a relation, you're stable, you have your land, you cultivate, you have to wait. You can't just, you cultivate, you prepare the ground, you put the seed, you harvest, you process the food, and then you have a stable society because you live in a place. You don't live in a TP. TP, not the temple prayer. TP, you don't live in a tent, okay? You build houses, okay? So similarly, our enthusiasm and time in the pioneer phase becomes a little wild. It becomes a little savage. In other words, we have a relation with the environment almost only of sell the book by hook or by crook. You follow? And that's it. We don't think of the consequences. We don't think that the people we sell the book to, 20 years, they're still scarred. They're still traumatized. Now, hopefully, we understand we have a relation to those people. We live in those cities. They know where we live. They know where we are. So we'll be much more responsible. So we should conserve and increase our enthusiasm, but we should done in a mature way. Is that clear? Thank you. Okay, 2 more comments, and then we have to move on. Yes.
It's 2 small things. What I found is the rational phase. One is the costs come in, because usually the pioneer phase, there's no cost. Everything is free, for free, almost everything. The prasadam, accommodation, everything is for free, usually pioneer state. And rational phase comes in. And integrate phase, then maybe they again can become free prasadam, free accommodation, but in a different way than in the pioneer state.
Is it a question or is it?
No, it's just I found it. You said
it's
what
an
I found.
example.
Yeah. No, because you didn't say this. I just found the cost come in.
The cost.
Cost.
Yeah,
In the second phase.
Uh-huh.
There's some in the pioneer phase, but more in the rational phase, as I found.
Things start, you're saying, the
Yeah.
rational phase still starting having a price tag.
Yes.
It's not just free for
Yeah.
all.
But I think in the integrate phase, again, can become, in a different way, but things can become for free. Prasadam, accommodation, but in a different way.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, I'm thinking about.
Can be. I don't
about
say
all
it.
the-
I don't say it has
How
to
many
be.
Govinda restaurants you have?
No,
in
I don't
Budapest?
say. I
No,
don't. Yeah, we have. I don't say it has to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like temples. Devotees come, Pioneer State devotees come to the temple, Sunday Feast program, Pioneers phase, everyone takes for free. Rational phase, pay. But may integrate, you can cooperate, you can organize that again for free. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cost.
I mean, yes, it's a generalization.
Yeah.
They may have some truth. In other words, like for instance, Pioneer phase, what they were doing in America, they were going collecting free boga.
Yeah.
Sometime the boga left after the marketplace. They would just pick up in the street and bring it to the Sunday feast and then give for free. Now, in a more organized way, you may have a sponsor, right? You may have a
This
sponsor.
is what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's still free, but it's a little more organized,
Yeah.
more systematic, hopefully better boga. Yeah. So there is a growth in the.
Other thing, just one more thing. This is the, I wrote down the, this is the discrimination. Discrimination.
Discrimination. Yeah.
Pioneer phase, no discrimination. Anyone can come to the temple, join the temple. Anyone, almost. We don't see the background.
Yeah,
Anyone can join.
That can happen.
And second level, we check
Yeah.
who's coming, who cannot come with
Pioneer,
that.
in other words, Pioneer, thank you for this. Pioneer can be a very idealistic idea. You follow? Because we have faith. Krishna consciousness can change people completely. So somebody has been a drug addict, is having psychological problems, is coming from a family, a little bit troubled family, and this and that, but we have the faith. No, let him come to the temple. He will become, in about 2 months, he will be a pure devotee. So what's the problem? Then in the rational phase, we start thinking, well, maybe, you were a drug addict, get your act together, and this and that, you can come to the temple, but maybe not like that. Yes, yes. A pioneer phase, maybe after 2 days, people put saffron. In the rational phase, it takes years before you put saffron. Aniruddha Prabhu, do you have something urgent? Because I want to keep trying.
Comment.
Okay.
It's easy to see why the pioneers might not like the rational stage, because you lose the family, and you lose some of that more intimate aspect. But when you do become more organized, then the householders can still do their thing, and the younger people can go out and do their preaching and so forth. You can accommodate all of the various aspects that exist, rather than just all be focused, say, on book distribution. The householders can't do that, for example.
Very, very good point. And that's why it's called integration. This is a broader. Now, on your way to break, please, all of you stand up, and on a national basis, India, New Zealand, Singapore, and so on, you stand where you think your ISKCON stands right now. You have pioneer phase, you have rational phase, and you have integration phase. Now, you can stay in between, okay? Maybe you are here. Or if you think your yatra is very young, you're here. If you think your yatra is more developed, maybe you are here. Okay? So please all stand up. Place yourself. We won't take a group picture, but and then from there we go in the break. Don't just go where there are more people. Just think of your yatra. Okay, so I'm a little confused here, because you got India that starts here, right between pioneer and rational, and goes here near. You're from the same city, right? So maybe in the break you can discuss. Okay, so India goes through India. So you got Canada, you got Australia, you got Hungary, Bangladesh. It's more than rational, or almost a pioneer. Okay, we got an idea. Thank you. Go in the break, 15 minutes. Hare Krishna. Sure. Two quick ones. One is just a second. If you don't have your computer with you, please go to your room and bring it, because the next session will be with your computer.
You said about tension from first to second.
Well, if the room doesn't survive,
This is working much better. What's the student password?
Hare Krishna. So now we'll have our Gopinath Prasad Prabhu, who will explain to us how to use the online platform, to take the online courses. Tests and so on. Gopinath Prabhu is from South Africa. Basically joined in Chopati. He did computer science. He was working as a consultant in computer. He's a disciple of Sriman Bhurijan Prabhu. And is really single-handedly managing this platform, all the courses and so on. So we are very grateful to him. Gopinath Prasad Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think so. I need one of those sheets. Hare Krishna. Oops. Rebecca. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Platinum. This all there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, can everyone hear me? All right. Hare Krishna. Has everybody got a sheet of paper that has a checklist on it? Okay, we're going to send this out, just pass this to everyone. Oh, this thing is not sending out. This guy is not even working. It's not working. I'm just getting the screen up. I'll just be a minute. So in the meantime, this sheet that I've sent out to everybody, this session here is going to be a very hands-on session. Everybody's going to be using their computers. And by the end of this session, we're going to try to get as many of these on the list as possible to be checked off. So you don't need to worry too much about how far you get. This is just the first session. We will have another session later on before the end of the session. I know some of you are comfortable using a computer, some of you may not be so comfortable, so there's no stress. Whatever pace you can work at, just try to follow what's been said in the class and just try to use that. I'd like to request those who are more familiar with the computer to kindly help those who are not so familiar on the same table. Okay. An iPad is fine. It's mainly browser-based. So the 10 things we're going to try to do today is we're going to try to log into edX. Now, you might have received 2 emails from us. The first email, the password is not correct. We're just testing. But you should have received a second email from us, and the second mail has the correct password. So the second one is on its way. If you haven't got it yet, you'll get it soon. So we're just going to go through this really quickly once we have the screen up. I think we need another device. Yeah. So what we're using basically is, at the GBC College, we have a blended learning model. And what that means is that some of the time you are present in a class, which is the residential, and the other time you are online. So we use 2 components of residential plus online. Now, most of the year you will be online, and it's on the residential is only a few weeks. So majority of the time you will be using this platform that we have. This platform is called edX. And basically, the top universities of the world, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, what they decided was it's really hard for people to come into their college and get educated. So they had a vision, let's educate the world. And the best way to do that is online, because everybody has access. So they created this platform, $60 million they put in, and they created this platform called edX, with the goal of educating 1 billion people. So what they've also done is they said, look, we've created this great platform. All the top universities have courses there that you can take, university level courses. But it's not that we as an organization can just come in and put our course in. So what they did was they gave us the code, they gave us the platform, and they open sourced it. Open source means they've given it out to anybody. They say, here's the code, put it on your own servers, and have your own college, have your own platform that uses the same code as we are using. So this is what we've done. It's called Open edX. And we've implemented their code on our own servers, and we have started our own courses, and that's part of the GBC College. So this is what the platform that you're going to be using just now. And what you want to do?
Brightness is on. Light. Because mouse arrow is coming in this side.
Yeah, all right. So the sound is on, audio?
Yeah.
It's loud?
There is sound coming in this side.
No, but this will work?
Yeah.
You click yes?
Just you check now.
All right, before you all start, we got the screen running now, so we're going to just show you a little clip of about edX once the sound comes up. So how many of you are very comfortable using a computer? You have no problems using a computer, you're very familiar. How many of you are not comfortable at all? Don't like computers, don't use it, don't want to see it? In the middle, okay. All right. So if you need any help, we are there to help you. We're there to serve you. And we've had other students before who've never switched on a computer, but have completely been able to complete the online courses and pass and graduate. So don't be worried about that. We can help you. There's a program that we can use called TeamViewer where we can log in remotely and kind of help you find your way. So don't be disturbed. No? Okay, just go ahead. Don't worry about it. This is not showing anymore. What to do? What to do? So you don't have another one?
Yeah, this is already is okay.
No, but it's not finding it.
Because you just check your computer.
Should be, yes. Yes, how many of you have PAMO addresses? We have a problem with PAMO addresses because PAMO addresses, Gmail, when we send out mass emails, it doesn't go to PAMO. PAMO marks it as spam and you never get the messages. So we're going to need a Gmail address or some other address from you. If you have that, then you can write that. All right, okay. It's coming, it's coming. Yep. No. Is that the second mail? Yeah, just wait for. Let's wait for the second mail. All right, so let's just start. We'll just start straight up. I'd like everybody to go to the gbccollege.com, www.gbc-college.com, if everybody can type that in. It's coming. And here you see our homepage. This is the GBC College site. Needs a bit of updating. gbc-college.com. Have a look, it's on the screen, gbc-college.com. That's our address. Can you see it? Can you log into that? Yes, Prabhu. Yes, okay, we're coming from here, we're going to the session. All right, so we want everybody to click on dashboard once you come onto that. Either you click on courses.gbc-college.com, which is the address we given in the email. Another way to get to the college learning platform is to click on dashboard from the home page. So you click on dashboard, and that will take you to the GBC College login. How many are left? Okay, let's go. Okay, so for now, don't worry about logging in. I'm just going to show you the platform, and then once your logins come in, you can go ahead. So, I'm not enrolled in any courses here on student. And I can't sign in here as well. Can you change my password as well here? One second. I can just surprising, it should be. Temporary locked. You have yours? What's yours? PA? Dot? Okay, Prabhu, sorry about that. So the first thing we want to do is this is the dashboard that you get in when you get onto the. Once you log in, you'll see this. This is called your dashboard. So in your dashboard, you'll see many courses there, but right now, you should only see one course. Once you get your password and log in, you'll have time to have a look at it. The course that will be available to you is called the starter course, and that's what we'll be going through today. But before that, you have an access to change your password. So you can click down here and go into account settings and change your password. But we'll do that once you have your logins. For now, we'll just go into the starter course. And you can do that by clicking on starter course or click on view course. Once you get into the starter course, you'll see we're having a lot of technical challenges. Do you have another one of these? Yeah, please bring it up. How far are you? Huh? Yeah. Is that the second email? Second email. You sure the passwords are correct? Audio. Audio. It's plugged in. Yeah.
Harvard University and MIT combined forces to create edX, the single biggest innovation in education since the printing press. edX is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the goal of educating 1 billion students, and we believe it's the future of online education. In 2013, edX open-sourced its code. Now every university, corporation, NGO, government, or entrepreneur can use this amazing tool. The platform itself includes an LMS that students use, and it also includes Studio, a sophisticated course creation tool. Leading organizations are now using Open edX for blended learning, employee training, custom onboarding, and more.
Okay, so that's just a basic introduction to the platform. So this is the main URL. You might want to note this down, bookmark it, or keep it. This is the URL that we'll be using to access the course. You can also go to the normal website, www.gbccollege.com, click on dashboard, you'll get to the same platform. So the first step is we're going to log in. Once you get your logins, and then you can change your password. So we'll just skip through. And now we're at the starter course. So if I go to the GBC College starter course, you can just watch for now. Once you get your password, you can play around. You don't have to do everything in this session. From now till the next session, which is on the 16th, you have that time to play around, understand the platform, and do everything on the checklist. For now, it's just kind of an introduction. It's quite a bit of information, so I don't expect you to do everything now. But we are sending emails to you. You are receiving the password. Once it comes to you, you can try to log in. And when everybody's got their logins, we can do it together. But for now, this is the platform. I just want to show it to you. You can have a look. And it's quite straightforward. The interface is very clean. Once you log into your course, like remember we were on the dashboard. This is the dashboard. Once you log in, you get to this screen. You click on the starter course, and you're now inside the course. And so there's just basically 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to show this as a student. These are the 4, you could say, tabs or main menu options that you have. The first one is the Home tab. And whenever you enter any course, this is the first tab that you'll see. And this basically will present to you the basic information about the course. So here you can see it's a welcome to the starter course, what the overview is, the objectives of the course, what is the grading expectation from you, the instructor. This is just basic information about the course. You'll read it once and you'll understand it. But another very important part of the home page is what we have this on the right-hand side called course handouts. And these handouts, if there's any course material that we want you to download, it is placed here. So for example, if there's any slides in this course, you'll have links to the course slides. If I click on it, it should download the slide. This is the presentation that I have right now that I'm doing. And there's another document here called the WebEx Setup Guide. We'll come to WebEx a bit later. But any material that you need to download is in this course handout sections on the home page. Clear? The next section is called course. So when you click on course, course gives you the actual materials of the course. So here is where you'll do most of your learning. And it's split up in 3 levels. So the first level is this left-hand side, these main sections here. You'll see these, there are 3 main sections: welcome, course components, and checklist. Each course is going to be different. This course, as a starter course, has 3 main sections: a welcome section, some components of the course, and a checklist. You'll see if I click on them, this expands to the subsections. This is the second level hierarchy, subsections. Now, if I click on course components, it doesn't go anywhere except expand the subsections. So it's very easy. We'll start off at the welcome section. You click on getting started, and that's going to open up the main content for you to browse, read, view, and this is what we call a unit. Now there may be 1 or more units. Let's have a look at, if I go down to discussion forums. So right now I'm in the discussion forum subsection of course components, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units or pages. And that basically means that for this section, I need to read these 5 pages here. So what I can do is I just have to click next, and it'll go to the next section, or I can click on top here, and then it will go to the next section. And each piece of information is provided when you have these sections. So it's very simple. This is the course page. It has all the content for you to do a course. It's broken up into 3 levels: main headings, subsections, and units or pages. Okay? So the best way to get through the content is to start from the top, and basically you just click next. Like in this section here, there's only 1 unit. So if I click next, I'm going to go to the next subsection, which is navigating around edX. This one here also just 1 page. If I click next, it's going to go to introductions. Okay? So the next one is called discussion. And discussion forms a very important part of the learning platform. Because we can't be together physically in the same room, we are all at different places in the world. But how do we facilitate interaction so that it doesn't feel like I'm just taking an online course, just watching a video, just doing things by myself? The whole idea of learning online is that you're still together in a classroom with the students. So this is facilitated by this discussion section. And in this discussion section, based on each course, you may have open discussion questions. So for example, in this course, we have 2 discussion. Here, one is called a sample question and one is called an introduction. So if I go to let's go to the sample question. This here is a basic example of a discussion question, and I can just read it for you. As the world becomes more virtual and connected to the internet, how can we use tools such as online learning to help propagate Krishna consciousness? Briefly discuss some of the advantages and disadvantages the online preaching field has to offer. So this is open-ended. Some courses may grade your discussions, most won't. This is just really for you to share with everybody else your thoughts that is relevant to the course at hand. So the instructors may open up a question on one of the courses, for example, is Vaishnav Sadachar. So the discussion topic may be what is the best etiquette for a leader, and you may have some questions you would like to clarify. You are free to open up a discussion, and other members of the team can add their input. Instructors of the course can come in and also provide guidance based on the course. Yes, Ru. Discussions are available at all time. They're available at all time. Of course, as you go through the content, you might find that a discussion is placed at a particular point. At that point, you can do it, but it's open for everybody. So the way discussions work is very easy. If I want to create a discussion, I just click on this button, Add a Post. And then I'm asked whether I have to, is it a question or a discussion? Now, you can also use this platform to ask questions. For example, I didn't get my login. So you can have a question, where is my login? Or I'm unable to download the course material. The PowerPoint doesn't work. Can you help me with something? So you can actually use this as a question forum where you click on question, and then you can just type, I don't have my login yet. And you can just say, please provide login. Let's do that here. And I just click on submit. If I have this setting, follow this post. What it's going to do is that if the instructor replies, you'll get an email saying that someone has responded to this discussion thread. If anybody replies, you'll get an email saying that I have to do it. If you don't like to be disturbed by email, you can uncheck that, but it may help if you're waiting for an answer. So you just click submit, and you'll see that is now a question right there. And somebody can add a response, and you can continue like that. So that's a discussion forum. The last one is called progress, and progress is basically, it's based on your assessment. So for each course, there are assessments. There are 3 types of assessments. One is a quiz assessment, a written assessment, and the discussion forum assessments. So this course here, you can see that the pass mark here is 60%, and at the GBC College, all courses online that you take, the pass mark is 60%. So you'll have to get 60% and above to pass the course. The grades are here. You get a D, 60 to 70, 70 to 80 is a C, 80 to 90 B, and 90 to 100 is an A. Now, when I look at the progress, I want to know what is expected of me, which parts of what assessments are graded. And here you can see there are 3 assessments that are here. One is a quiz, a written assessment, and a checklist. And if I want to know the detail of what that is, I can scroll down, and this shows me each of the sections and subsections that we had in the course. If you remember that we had a welcome section and that had 3 subsections, none of them have assessments in them. If I look at the course components, there is an assessment in the multiple choice quiz section, and that is worth 8 marks. We have a written assessment that is worth 100 marks. At the end of the day, it comes down into a percentage, so you don't have to worry about how many marks this is and how many marks that is. On the course homepage, you'll see that each course, they give you the breakdown. The quiz is worth 30%. The written assignment is worth 30%. The checklist is worth 40%. So when you look at this, you don't have to worry too much. You just have to do the assignment, and you'll see the result from that. But this is where you come in to just see how you've done after you complete the assignments. So once you log in, you'll see how it works. It's not that hard. And so we have 3 assessments. This is the last one, the readiness checklist, and that's worth 40 marks. All right, so I'll just go through some of the assignments, the assessments. All right, so the main part of the online course content forms is video and text and slides. These are the 3 main pieces of content where you'll do most of the learning from. So if you know how to run a video, watch the video. If you know how to see the slides, you're good to go in terms of understanding the content. So the video content you'll see is just a great big video player here. It's actually hosted off YouTube. All you need to do is just click play, and it will play the video.
Welcome to the edX demonstration course. We're excited to have you here today. We created this demo to help you become better familiar with what it is to take an edX course.
All right, so if I want to speed up this video, I have an option. I can slow it down. I can speed it up to 2 times the speed.
Before your first day of class, you'll be able to navigate the
I can reduce it to half if the person speaks very fast. I have an option, just like YouTube, you have an option. This is your volume control. I can put it in full screen if you like. This is standard video options that you have in watching a video. So this is one of the main pieces of content. Most of the courses online expect you to watch the videos, and it's something that's very important. The video content, you should not just skip over it and try to avoid it, even though the videos may be 10, 20 minutes. This is very important for you to go through. So we want everybody to please watch the videos very carefully, absorb all the information. If you want to go faster, you can put it a little faster, but it's best to watch the videos because a lot of the assessments are based on the content in the video. Not everything that is spoken in the video is given in the slides. Not everything spoken in the video is given in the text. So it's very important that in order for you to pass the course that you do spend the time and watch the videos. The next part is slides. You'll see here this is the second unit. Now slide content, you'll see that this presentation here I've embedded here. And you can preview the slides on the platform itself. This is hosted off SlideShare, and sometimes it's a little buggy. So you may not be able to get the slides all the time. So what we've done is we've given you a download link here. You click on the download PPT, and it should download it once my computer wakes up. Seem to have frozen. Are you done? All right, so Vijay here, my assistant, said that he's emailed everybody their logins. So please check your email and go to courses.gbc-college.com. Okay, what's your name, Prabhu? Yeah, it's a different password? Okay, we'll just check. Has everybody got the email with the password, but it doesn't work? It's working. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Excellent. Okay, so everyone, I'd like you to please go to courses.gbc-college.com. So one way around that, Aniruddha Prabhu has mentioned, if everybody can go to courses.gbc-college.com and just type in your password and type in your name and put forget password. Then it'll ask you for your email address, put your email address in, and then you'll get an email to reset your password. So we'll just spend 5 minutes or so just setting you up. We'll take a break. I'll come around and make sure everybody's logged in, and then from there we can proceed. All right? How many of you don't have your login, unable to log in? Everybody else is logged in? All right, we'll just spend 5 minutes to get everyone logged in, and then we'll continue. Yeah, he said his password's not working. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right, Prabhus, Hare Krishna. So most of you all are logged in. I think one or two are we're still working out. After you've logged in, I can see you all are doing very nicely on going through the course. I just want to point to a few things for you. The first thing is that in the welcome section, we have an introductions. And the introductions is basically a discussion forum, as we've taught you. And we want you to introduce yourself on this discussion forum. Now you'll notice that all you have to do here is expand the discussion. So when you click on it in introductions, you'll come into this page here. And it just says, please introduce yourself. You click on show discussion. And you'll see the discussion. All you need to do is click on this and then click add a response. So there are different levels of discussion elements. In other words, you can add a new post. If you see here, I can click add a post. This will start another discussion. It's not the same discussion. So what we want you to do is add a response to this particular discussion here. Now there's one more level as well, and that's called a reply. So a reply is that I can add a response. So one of my responses is I have introduced myself here. Hare Krishna, I'm from South Africa. And somebody can reply to that response. So in other words, it's almost like a thread. So someone who's replying to this response, they really only, it should be relevant to this response. So in other words, a reply could be, Hare Krishna Prabhu, where in South Africa are you from? Now this is specific to my response. It is not your own response. So there are three things. One is adding a new post, adding another discussion. As you do, if you click on discussions right at the top, you go into discussion and you want to start a new thread altogether, you click add a post right here. That's adding a new discussion thread. But what we want you to do here in introductions, we already have the thread started. The discussion is there. We want you to add a response to that. The way to do that is you click in the discussion, click add a response, and there you add your response. I'll just repeat that very slowly. This is the discussion thread here under introductions. In the welcome section under introductions, we're asking you to please introduce yourself, and we're using the discussion functionality. So when you click on introductions, you'll see this page here. I'm just going to change it to students so you see what you don't see anything else. Okay, so there's the discussion here, right here, but it is now minimized. So what we want to do is expand it. You click show discussion. Okay, and from there, this is the discussion here. This here, someone posted, sorted, all done on my phone. That is another discussion because the person clicked on add a post instead of add a response. So what you want to do is click inside introductions, and inside here you want to click add a response. So a lot of people have got that right. 6 responses are there. Other people are responding. And I could reply to these responses. So Nitai Ram, who says I'm from Vancouver, Canada, I could reply to him and ask him where in Canada. And this is a reply. So you'll see that it's a little more grayed out. It's in gray and it's within this thread here. So for most of the time, as you like to participate, you can reply to someone's response, or you can add a response to a discussion. And if you want, you can also add a new discussion. This may be new for you, obviously, so you'll get used to it once you're on the platform playing with it. But if you've already logged in, try to introduce yourself on the platform and continue going through the course. Now, I want to bring your attention to one other thing, is that we have a college email address. We're utilizing different communication tools. So Email is probably the most official, and we'd like everybody, if they need anything, any kind of support, if they have any concerns, if they have any questions, we have one single email address for the college, and that is courses@gbc-college.com. If you need to know how to contact us, you need to know anything about your grades, about the college, anything at all, you email this address. And this address comes to the GBC College staff, and depending on the nature of the request, we will respond to you. So you want to note this email address down. You've already got it. You've been getting the mails from us. What you can do is, to avoid it going into your spam folder, your junk folder, add this email address as a contact in your email. If you know how to do that, that's great. If you don't, we can help you with that. But it's not essential to do that. But the point here is, this is the main email address that we use to communicate, so please note that down. It's a question in your assessments. If those of you have Skype, we're not really utilizing Skype to make calls. We do have a monthly meeting. Part of the college, we'd like all students to come onto a call, and this is for the ALP course, Action Learning Project. That's your ongoing project that you'll be doing throughout the year. It's part of your online training. And for that course, we have a monthly call with the instructor of that course, and everybody gets online, and we come together, and there's some teaching that's provided, and you have any question that is given. So those calls are scheduled once a month, and we don't use Skype to do those calls. What we use is a software called WebEx, and it's a far more stable platform. We're going to set you up on WebEx shortly, but if WebEx fails, or if you're not familiar with WebEx, we use Skype as a backup. So I've given my Skype ID there. Many of you are familiar with Skype, you have it. If you want to add me as a contact, you can. It is not essential, but it would be good if you add myself. So sometimes when you're on WebEx and you can't get something, then I normally do support over Skype. So if you have a Skype account already, you can add me. If you know how to add me, please go ahead. If you don't have a Skype account, it's not a big thing. You don't have to worry too much about it. But Skype is one of the communication tools we use. This slide is inside the course, so if you haven't noted that down, it's inside the course. WebEx and WhatsApp. Okay, I'll just mention about WhatsApp. WhatsApp, we also utilize WhatsApp as a communication tool as well. It's we will come to that. My ID, yeah, it's I'll just put it back. So WhatsApp, we do utilize WhatsApp. It's not an official form of communication, although it's part of the college, so it's official in that sense. But because not everybody has WhatsApp, we don't provide communication to everybody on that platform. The emails are official, so whatever you get an email, that's official communication from us. WhatsApp, sometimes it's just convenient that the students are together, they have some questions, they want to know some deadline or something, they can just ask very easily on WhatsApp. Those who have WhatsApp and use it, we've sent the sheet around. If you put your number on it, we'll add you to the list and we'll add you to the group. Those who don't have WhatsApp, it's up to you. It's not essential that you be part of this list. You won't be missing out on any communications from the college. It's just an additional communication that we have to make it easier for you to connect with us, to be part of the college. All right, so that's WhatsApp. If you haven't given your name or number, please do so. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes. The recording of the class is made available after. The recording of that discussion is made available on the platform, so you can watch that class with everybody interacting. We send out communication at least a week to 10 days before we have a session, and we give you a date and time, so we try to make it as easy as possible for you to try to join. Sometimes, depending on the time zones of everyone, we may hold 2 classes where we repeat it. On the same day, we have 2 different times where we have the same class. And so then if you can't make the first one, you try to make the second one. If you can't make the second one, then you've missed the call for for that month, we provide the lecture on the platform. You can watch the video. Yep, it is available. Those calls are important. They're very, very useful for the students because they need to, especially on the ALP, they need to get communication from the instructor and go forward. So those calls are done on WebEx, which we're going to come to just now. So that covers the communication part. WebEx link, we need to give them. So put that on the platform. So those of you who have WebEx, how many of you have used WebEx before? A few people, okay. So we're going to give you a link right now. We're going to put it on the platform, and you don't have to install WebEx. You just have to click this link, and then we'll help you with the installation of WebEx. So I just want to get a sense of everybody. Have you gone through the course? Are you going through that? Assessments, do you all need more time to go through that? What would you all like to do? It's all a bit much. Yes, there's a multiple choice, there's a written assignment. Yes, please go through it. Written one also. This starter course is very, very important. If you are able to complete whatever's on this sheet, then you are prepared to start the online courses, because all the components that we are teaching you in the starter course are there in the online courses. So it's not essential you do it today, but before the next session, please go through it. You should be able to go understand all the components of the starter course. We can go through some of it now. We can go through the quiz. We can go through the written assignment. Where is the cursor? Huh? 16.91, I think. Yeah, but yes, that's it. So this is a sample multiple choice question, and it's very basic. I think everyone should be able to handle it. Let's just take something a little more simple. Here. No, this doesn't count to your grade. If you have any questions or concern about your progress, which email address do you send to? What is the correct answer here? The last one, courses@GBC College, okay? Now, what's important is that it will tell you that you only have 0 of 1 attempt. That means you have 1 attempt to get this right. Okay, there may be exceptions where we may give you more than 1 option. Maybe the question is very difficult. We may give you 2 tries. But if you want to know how many tries you have only 1 attempt. So once you choose your answer, if you choose, say, info, and if I click submit, that is your final answer. We cannot undo it. We cannot log in for you and change your grade. That will be marked right or wrong. Automatically, you will get your grade. So if you're unsure and you want to just leave it at that, you can click on save. And the next time you log in and log out, it will remember what you have selected. It will remember the option you selected. But unless you click submit, you have not actually sent through that answer. You won't get graded. So sometimes students email us and say, well, I haven't got my mark yet. And that's because they've selected it, but they haven't clicked submit. So you make sure that you click on submit. So if I click submit here, it's going to show me that this is wrong. So let's try to get it right. And that will show you that's the right attempt. If for some reason you selected that and you got it wrong, you can actually click on show answer, and it will reveal to you what the right answer is, because you've already made your choice. So then you can understand what is the correct answer by clicking on show. Let's just do that. I'll show you what that means. What is the official website for the GBC College online learning platform? Which is the correct answer? Read it very carefully. The GBC College online learning platform. What is the website for that? A, B, C, D. C, all right. All right, let's say we do, let's just say we choose the wrong one. It's going to show me that that's incorrect. I can then go and click show answer, it'll show me the right answer is actually C. Okay? So in this way, multiple choices are very good for you. You can immediately get the correct answer. You can immediately understand what your grade is. If I go to progress now, if I click on progress, I'll see that in the multiple choice quiz, some of my responses are there. I'm getting graded automatically. So once I finish up all the questions in the quiz, I should get a grade for that. Whoops. Getting kicked out for some reason. Just log in again. You sent me the WebEx link? I don't know why I keep getting logged out. All right, I'll give you a taste of what's up to come. For example, one of the courses, the first courses that we're going to launch is called Vaishnav Sadachar. This is a course done by Bhakti Chara Maharaj. We're just going to click in here. This will be launched at some point. I'll just go straight into the course. And in this course, you can see there are 8 aims. So there are 8 main sections that you have to do. And in each section, there is a discussion, an assessment, and some instruction. So for example, the instruction is here. You'll be able to see if it works. Do we have sound there, Murli?
The leaders have the great responsibility to lead or guide their followers to the right direction.
So you can go through the course content. This is just an example that's upcoming. These are the 8 aims, and then you click on next, and there's some information, there's some content that you can go through. So you can see, you can go through each part. And I'm just giving an example of the Vaishnav Sadachar course. So this is just an upcoming event that's will be released once you finish the courses here. So we've looked at the multiple choice. Now we're going to look at the written assignment. This is also a very important part of your assessment. The way this works is that you have an assignment, you have to download a file. It is a Word document. You download the file, you put your response in the Word file, and then re-upload that file. So if you look down here, you'll see there's the file here to download. You click on this, and it'll download the assignment. You can read this in your own time. You can read through it. It explains everything very nicely. Once you click on this, you'll see the assignment open. It's open on this side of my screen. Okay, this is an example assignment. So I'll put my name on this. The first thing I'll do is put my name. And these are the 2 questions that I have. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you in using a computer? 1 being not comfortable, 10 being very comfortable. I could just put an 8. That's my first response. And the second one, what are some of the challenges you may face in taking an online course? So I would write something that, just write challenge. There are many challenges. All right. Now, once I have this assignment, I can save it. I have to save as, and I'll put my name on this. I'll put Gopinath Prasad Das. And this assignment now I can upload on the platform. So once I've downloaded it, there's an option here for you to select the file, and then I think, was that in documents? Can't remember where it was. I'm not sure where I saved it. Downloads. It's in downloads. Okay, that's my assignment. And then I click upload assignment, and now my assignment is uploaded. Now this is important. Once you see the file uploaded, you don't need to ask us, have you received my file? It is up, the system is telling you that the file has been uploaded. We will be able to see your file. All right, so that is it for your submission. If you want to resubmit another file, you can again select a file and resubmit another version of it. Before the course ends, you can submit it, or before it gets graded, you can submit it. Once it's graded, you can't resubmit. Now, these assessments are graded by a staff, so it's not an automatic assessment. So you can expect, if you click on progress now, you won't see a grade for this assessment. You will have to wait for one of our staff to grade this assessment. Usually we do it at some point after the course. So you'll have to be patient on this. Please don't email us and ask us, when is this going to be graded? We will communicate to you when it is graded. It's as per the availability of our volunteer graders. But we'll try to do it as soon as possible. And once this is graded, we'll inform you. You can go to progress and you can see the result of that. So, and finally, there's this checklist here. So I'd like everybody to go through this also and just kind of, this is the same checklist as we wrote here. So you can just let us know if you were able to log into edX and all the items here if you were able to do. So I think, how many of you are struggling with any of these now? Everybody has logged into edX, yes? Has everyone been able to change their password? You've been able to log in? Why hasn't he got his login? Radheshyam Prabhu hasn't logged in yet. Okay, you're able to navigate through the course. I'm sure you'll learn that. We've been through that. Are you comfortable in navigating through the course? You're able to watch a video, view the content. Have you introduced yourself? So there's the quiz assessment, uploading a written assessment, receiving the emails. Everyone is able to receive the email? I think yes. Okay, the WhatsApp group will add you to. So the last thing I think is the WebEx call. So I think we'll just, is everybody able to follow through, or should we wait some time? Take a little time. All right. So we'll just, I'll just come around in 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll do the WebEx. That's the last part of this course. And then I just want to get a sense of feel of how many people are on the platform and how many are not. And then we'll do the WebEx. The WebEx is also a quick thing. But we will have another call. We'll have another meeting just before the end of the course. And at that point, we can go through all of this again and make sure that everybody is comfortable using the platform. Okay? So we'll just give you a few minutes just to get everybody else set up. And if you haven't finished your assessments, please go through the platform, read through it.
I entered, everything is done now. From where, can you please tell me what should I do now? I just responded your message also, and someone said also, and submit my.
So just go through getting started. Read this and then click next. Read everything, click next. Like that.
Okay.
That's all you need to do. it in the course, no? I haven't got the mail yet. Once you put it in the class, can't you log in and put it in the class? I keep getting logged out. Just send me the link on Hangouts or something. Just send it to me anyhow, Vijay. Come on. Why don't you email everybody the link? I got it. You tested it? It's working? What's the meeting number? Do you have it? That's it? 192? Yeah? Okay, where is it? Is it in general? What would you like me to do? Are you going to show something now? I'm just going to give them a link. And if they want to stay for it, fine. If they don't, no problem. They just need the link. Okay. Just have to communicate. So you're going to communicate the link now? Yes. And then, of course, I'll tell them. You want to stay more? You'll be here, right? Can you find out where it is? Yeah, right. Okay, hi Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. So the last thing is the WebEx meeting link. I have added it to the discussion forum. If you click on discussion, you'll see a WebEx meeting link. Please click on that link. If you're using your mobiles, you'll need a meeting number. We have provided that number on that page as well. So just click on the link, try to install WebEx. The next time we meet, we will actually have a WebEx call. We'll have everybody on the WebEx call. All you need now is just to try out the link. Our time is up. I'm sorry I had to move a little fast for some of you. I had to move a little slow for some of you. I do apologize for the technical problems. But this is just an introduction to the platform. And once you are set up, if you need any help at all, please contact me. I can go through the whole platform with you individually. And if you'd like to stay on, I can do that as well. Thank you very much for your time. And until we meet next time, Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you very much, Gopinath Prasad Prabhu. And just to repeat, Gopinath Prasad Prabhu is available right now if you have any question, any query, any problem, any issue. So he will be around, but since it's 6:30, we want to officially close. So if you feel comfortable, if you feel set, if you feel you got it, then feel free to go. But if you need more assistance, Gopinath Prasad Prabhu is here. So tomorrow morning, again, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, we'll explore the sadhana. It will be mostly self-assessment, dialogue. Maybe spend a few minutes thinking what sadhana means for you. How would you define sadhana? If a friend asks, what sadhana means, what would you define? We'll discuss that tomorrow morning. In the afternoon, we will focus on succession, the importance of creating a succession to your roles and positions. And tomorrow morning for the Bhagavatam class, we'll be hearing from His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. And a little reminder, you received this team learning. We are going to use this team learning, we'll discuss this team learning booklet the day after tomorrow, on the 11th morning. So please take a look, highlight what you find more interesting or if you have questions. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I just want to mention one more thing, is that on the home page of the course, you'll see a WebEx setup guide link here. It has a PDF file to help you, once you have the link, to help you set up WebEx. It gives you full instructions. You don't need to have a WebEx account. You just need to join as guest. So if you do have an account, that's great, but you don't need one. Just click the link, put in your email address, click join as guest, set up your mic, you're in. All right, so you can test that out. This link will be open for 24 hours from today till tomorrow. If you want, you can test, and before the next session, we'll have another link for you to try out. Okay. Hare Krishna. The link is in the discussion forum. If you go into the course, click on discussion, there's a link there. All you need to do is click that link. Discussion. So if anybody needs help, please raise your hand. I'll come and assist you with anything.